At the beginning of this summer, I purchased this old Ponderosa stock trailer. It's a 98. It's the first horse trailer I've ever bought and ever driven, and it definitely had quite a lot of rust on it. It still does. I am in the process of totally refurbishing it, and I have been documenting it along the way, so this is going to be part one in a series where I show you everything that's worked, what I've learned, what hasn't worked. Yeah, it's been a super fun project, so I hope you find it interesting too. It is structurally sound. It has good floorboards. Everything is working in that way. I got the brakes completely redone when I got it, but there is a ton of surface rust. You can see all these splotches are where I've been removing it. On the inside and outside. I have not even started on the inside yet. At this point, I'm about 3/4 of the way around the outside. Now I still need to get up on a ladder and do what I can't reach and get on the roof. There is one leak in the tack room. It did rain like one time after I bought it, so it was actually great. I was able to see where that leak was. Let's take a look at how everything is looking. The main thing I've been using for removing rust is this crud cutter. This is the second bottle I just bought. I've been through a whole bottle already, which, considering how far around it I've gotten, is pretty good. This is like $16 at the hardware store. I'm sure I'll need several more bottles, but not a bad deal overall. And then I've been using a ton of different sizes of wire brush. I just bought a whole new batch because I've kind of started to wear down the ones I initially bought. This is a new one they've got. I'm going to use this on the back end. There are so many things that have worked and not worked. First off, the guys at the hardware store told me to spray this on and let it sit for 30 minutes and then use the wire brush to wash it off. And I tried that and it kind of worked, but it was very daunting thinking of how hard that was to do all around the trailer. So what I found work, which is faster and easier, is to just spray it on there and immediately scrub it with the wire brush and just continue to spray and scrub and spray and scrub. And that's why it kind of looks like this here, because it's running down. This crud cutter becomes kind of tainted rust color because it's scrubbing off the rust. So my plan is, once I've gotten the whole outside done, is to like pressure wash it, or if I can't get a pressure washer, at least just hose it off and let it dry quickly in the sun, not when it's going to be cloudy or stagnant water anywhere. So that's why it kind of looks all marked up still, but the rust is actually not stuck onto the metal anymore. These little brushes have been the best for getting in all the kinds of crevices. While these bigger brushes are useful and I have used them, they're actually not as effective as the little one because there's so many grooves on this thing. It's hard to get a spot that has a lot of flat surface. These are some of the brushes I've already used, and you could just tell they're totally worn down from how much I've been scrubbing with them. I'm just kind of coming around. This side's pretty much done. I'm checking any spots I missed. I am going to come over all of this with an electric sander, so I'm not worried about being perfect. I'm just trying to remove the bulk of the rust. I'm not painting directly over it. Oh, this brush is great. This is my first time trying this new brush. But for flat surfaces like this, where I just need to get it all along here, and then for little spots like this is where this tiny brush comes in handy, because I can really just target scrub. And then there's all rust down in here behind this. So I'm trying to spray and get in there. So while I can't reach in there that great, this back side has rust, so I can spray and come with this big guy all the way down. And I'll come on there with my sander too. All that crud cutter that has now carried the rust off of there. And along here, if you look, this is where I started to do already. And on these sides I haven't done. So now I'm going to use that big brush and just clean all of this up. I think this is going to be a great way to clean it up. This brush has a little bit stiffer of bristles. They're both carbon steel. but this one's stiffer for some reason, and I'm finding that that's working a little better. This is definitely a lot of work and a lot of elbow grease, but it's going to be so gratifying when it's done. If anyone watching this has ever worked with metal and rust or anything like this before, feel free to give tips because, like I said, this is my first time doing anything like this. I'm very excited to move on from this step and get on to the electric sander step. That's a lot less labor intensive, let's say. Well, I'm sure it will still be difficult. But even just in like this 10 minutes I've been working this whole bottom rung. Now this rounded part I didn't work on. The rounded parts are harder because you can't get as much brush surface on them. The other trick that's worked really well is when I kind of sandwich both sides of a piece in between the brush. That seems to work really well. It gets the brush stable on both sides, and I'm able to work on both sides of the piece of metal at the same time. One thing I've been really careful about doing is I'm still trailering my horse several times a week in this trailer, so I really haven't done anything on the inside, or even like on this door. I would want to open it to really work on it because I don't want this chemical dripping onto here and just having it be unnecessarily smells. Like, then she's going to smell that chemical smell when I'm asking her to get in the trailer. And we've been back and forth on the trailer ease. With a lot of work, she gets in well now. But the point being, the inside of the trailer, I'm going to have to like block out a week or two of time where I'm not going to be using it and just bust it out. So that's why I haven't worked on the inside at all yet. The other thing I want to point out is all of these like cool black paint lines. I think it's the original paint from when it was made. I really like them, so I took really thorough pictures of everything. I would like to recreate it in some way when I get to the painting part, even though that feels miles away right now. But either way, I'm feeling really good about the progress made, and I hope you guys follow along and see how this trailer turns out.